raise a couple of really good issues I'd like Dr. Binder to weigh in on, because at what point does the very act define that there's something mentally wrong with somebody? When you see something like the Aurora, Colorado shooting, whether he has been clinically diagnosed as being mentally ill, I mean, how can someone who's not mentally ill commit a violent act of that nature?
So when we look at people who have committed those types of crimes and you evaluate them and you say, yes, they have mental illness, that's true. But that is not the same thing as saying of the huge population of people who have some kind of mental illness, that those people are going to be committing crimes. I mean, there was the National Institute of Mental Health Epidemiologic Catchment Area study, with 17,803 subjects in 5 communities, and they were studied for rates of psychiatric disorders, and they got data on violence on 7,000 subjects. They defined violence as using a weapon in a fight, engaging in a fight that came to blows with other than a partner or spouse. So they eliminated domestic violence, from the statistics. And what they found was that patients with serious mental illness, schizophrenia, major depression, bipolar disorder, were 2 to 3 times as likely as people without such an illness to be violent. And what that meant is that the lifetime prevalence of violence among people with these illnesses was 16%, compared to 7% among people without mental illness. So it's certainly more. And if you add substance abuse to it, so the combination of mental illness plus substance abuse, especially drugs of abuse such as amphetamines, methamphetamine, cocaine, some of the things that we have on the streets right now, which can certainly cause violence without any mental illness, the horrible epidemic right now of bath salts, and of just, that's what they call them, some kind of drug that has an amphetamine-like substance in it, which is very easy to get, and it is associated with violence. A few years ago, the drug was was PCP, which was another drug that was associated with violence. So it's mental illness plus substance abuse. Now, that's not saying when we have homeless patients on the street who have some mental illness, and many of whom also have some problems with substance abuse, that they're not going to get into scuffles with police.